Hi, welcome back to the Nth Degree. In today's video, what we're going to focus on is the jab. Now, the jab oftentimes is underestimated and underappreciated in terms of its effectiveness. In a lot of distance... Son of a bitch. Hi, welcome back to the Nth Degree. In today's video, what we're going to focus on is the jab. Many times, the jab is underappreciated and underestimated in terms of its effectiveness. Now, in order for it to be effective, there are certain components that we need to take into consideration. The first component is this. Generally speaking, it is the closest weapon to the closest target. Meaning, if you were to use your cross, you'd have a longer distance to go to be able to make contact. Whereas with a jab, it's absolutely in the most effective position to begin with. Now, behind that, we need to add some different factors that come into play. Some of those things are footwork, body mechanics, and accuracy. In the absence of those three things, the jab will be exactly that, ineffective. So let me bring Jackson out to give you a demonstration of what this looks like. Stay with me. Okay, welcome back. So what we're going to see now is Jackson demonstrate the jab. As he's doing this, watch his basic stance. Very similar to what we did in our first video. So Jackson, go ahead. So now we're in this situation. Notice how Jackson's hands, so I'll stop for a second. A lot of times your hands are down here and you've got all this open. Yeah, get it. Just get them up. So you're looking just over top of it. Yeah, there we go. Good.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Sorry, we'll go over that again. Sorry.
No problem.
We'll take it again.
Okay, so now we have Jackson out here and he's going to do a demonstration of the jab for you. Okay, Jackson, get into your ready position. Okay, notice that before we even start throwing the jab, we're actually in that stance that we did in the first video. So it's very much the same thing. And in fact, all of the different techniques and methodologies we're going to use are going to come out of this stance or a variation of it. Now, what you'll notice is as Jackson starts throwing the jab, watch what happens. Go ahead, Jackson. Let's keep going. All right, so one of the first things you can start to see as Jackson keeps moving here is you notice that his feet are moving and he's advancing as he makes that jab. So that's an important part of it. Why is that important? It's because instead of just like a 5-pound fist on a 10-pound arm, you've now got a whole body behind it. So now when you're throwing that jab, you've got all that body weight going through it, which makes it more effective. The next thing you'll notice is Jackson's twisting his arm almost like he's putting a screwdriver into a wall. Now what's important about that is that as he does that, the shoulder naturally comes over top and lifts to protect the chin. So that's something we definitely want in case we get an attack from the outside line. Now, it's not the whole answer, but it's the beginning of the answer to be able to protect yourself. The other factor that comes into play is the accuracy. You notice that from where Jackson's throwing the jab, right through to when he's making, an imaginary contact point with an imaginary partner, it's that he's got a direct line right through and through to that object. Jackson, go ahead. And just stop on this one. Go ahead. Now you'll notice, see how that arm twists? And notice how the shoulder comes up to protect. So if I was to come in here, one, I'd have to get past this jab, but two, it becomes very hard to hit his face because of how he's done this. Go again. And notice it's that slight little shuffle. Do it again, Jackson. That slight little shuffle, all of a sudden he's right in on top of me. So I could be in a situation where I feel like I'm not in range to be hit by the jab, and with just that little shuffle, all of a sudden, he's got the range that he needs to be able to make contact. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of speed back to it. So just turn around, Jackson, just out in front of you. Now notice as he's making these motions, that he gets that retraction on that arm right back to where it is, or right back to where it starts from. As he does this, you'll see there's a whipping action that comes into play. And that whipping action actually allows the jab to extend a little further than it normally would as he makes contact. That's going to have that power and that added force in behind it. So these are the body mechanics that we need to have. Now Jackson, face me, do the same thing. Watch that jab, how it extends and snaps back. Very nice. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in behind the dummy and I'm going to allow Jackson to make contact with the bag, or in this case, the fighting man dummy. Now in behind that, you're going to see all of this stuff come into play as Jackson's moving around and making contact. Okay, Jackson. Now, Jackson, step back just a little bit. There we go. Good. Now do it. Excellent. Perfect. And now we can see we've taken this very simple tool and we've made it very effective by our ability to be able to close the distance, utilize our body mechanics and our accuracy to make contact with our opponent. Time. Excellent job, Jackson. So, right, you try. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this video. Remember, when you're working your jab, you gotta have your footwork, you gotta have your body mechanics, and you have to have accuracy. If you take the time and just train what we showed you today, you'll improve your jab immediately.
If you liked the content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to show your support and see more of us. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.